Our next speaker is Mario Phillips.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I don't have a lot to say, but Doge, they recently reported an estimate of $65 billion in savings. And I know you go to Capitol Hill next month. If they would propose to you, we'll give you $20 billion to rescind the sanctuary city status, would you rescind it? Because $20 billion can be used a lot. It could be used even in a municipal bankruptcy, like Mike Duggan did in Detroit in his first term. So it's not about how long you've been, it's about the usage of it. Because in 2010, we was about $14 billion in debt in the pensions. Now we up to 33, that's almost a 300% gain. And I don't understand, people don't understand how important it is to become solvent, because if we default on a loan, the whole city falls. So that's how you restructure the debt, by actually dealing with it, because it takes a strong will to make a right decision. And that's what you're gonna need to do with that. Also, 1% of the city is 1% of the population works for the city. Us in the private sector, we shouldn't be subsidizing these pensions. We in defined contribution plans. You all in a defined benefit. That means I can't retire when I want to retire if the market falls, but you can retire whenever you at will, and you won't even feel the effect of that. That's not right to us. So some of that money also, if they was to give it to you, you could lobby so they could change pension laws at the state level, so that could free us up. And another thing, what we could probably do with that money, if they did propose that to you, only like 1 or 2% of the schools have like HVAC, welding, or even electrician. It don't make sense for a kid to go to school for 13 years and not graduate with an income earning skill. Why all the schools don't have dual enrollment? Why all the schools don't have more trades in them? It's 157 schools, and that's only 1% or 2% of them that can do that. So if they put that deal on the table, because you can see he's an administration that's willing and dealing and willing to negotiate, would you say, give me $20 billion, I'll take this off the table so we can help the city flourish? Because if we default, we already was in junk status in 2015. And some of the aldermen were here, and that's why we probably got our credit score lowered last month, because some of them here, you can't put new wine in old wineskin. You can't do that, or it's ruin the whole wineskin. So now you want to borrow another $830 million, and they just lowered our credit rating last month? That's not making sense. So if we're going to kick the can down, it's going to be a bigger issue later on down the road.
Our next speaker this morning is George Blakemore.
Brandon Johnson, Mayor Brandon Johnson, do not go up to Congress talking about sanctuary. You support the sanctuary. They will trick you. It's about the money. You have used some federal money for sanctuary. Now, I've been around for 83 years. Now, I've seen many mayors, but now you have a rating of 6%. So I'm urging you to don't let them trap you. And sanctuary. If anyone needs sanctuary, black people need it. This is Black History Month. Our history, we are entitled to sanctuary for all the goods, service, contracts, and jobs. Mr. Blakemore, what makes the black man so unique? He's the only man in America who was enslaved in America. Enslaved in America. So you are a unique man. So you must embrace your uniqueness. Now, everyone here, 99% of the people here, these aldermen, are Democrats. Democrats. And now you go into another circle with Republicans, with Reverend Trump. Don't you go up there and with that sanctuary. He's going to use another strategy. I'm just begging you, because you're playing a losing card. Even the people in the city of Chicago, they don't want sanctuary. They don't want it. Look at the empty seats. Look at the empty seats. They don't want it. We don't want it. So don't go there, because I'm so scared that you might be indicted. They started asking you questions about the money. Money is the root of all evil. So you would have to make an account of the money. And I don't think you will win when Trump men started asking you these questions. So You know what happened to the mayor in New York? He decided to surrender. And it's time for you to surrender and for you to smell your blood. You are a black man. You are a black man. You was a black man and a little black boy before you became a Democrat. You're still black, and racism is still alive in the city of Chicago. Embrace your black.
Our next speaker is Tawan Sims.
In my hand, I have an order of protection that was given to a Miss Deanna Williamson. This was last year we was talking about. Remember when I just kind of was seen to be freaked out? But if you was a constituent that was consistently ignored, so here's the number, 2024-OP07366. Her name is Deanna Williamson. She is the head of the domestic relations. Her and along with a bunch of cronies and also criminal judges, I've emailed to the committee about, well, some of the committee about, but these are people that's supposed to take care of you. But you, on the other hand, oh man, I was so happy to hear that you're going to Capitol Hill. I was so happy to hear that because here, now you get to feel what it feels like to have somebody with absolute, almost authority standing on you. And how futile your fight might look. But now we get to see. But there'll be no bonding you out. The $830 million we say no to. That way you get the wrestle from your vantage point. Just like the rest of us out here. Because we got to deal with it, we got to figure it out. So you and your think tank, y'all can figure it out. And the American people can kind of sit this one out. That infrastructure, no infrastructure is coming to Austin, nor Inglewood, nor South Shore. None of it's coming those ways. We got urban up here, what? It's called identity politicking. Look at those poor black, but yeah, we divested, not poor. Because we always gonna figure it out. We've been figuring it out for centuries now. But here it is, you wanna keep using that identity crap, talking about education. We got no education. Black kids are the least. Y'all talk about diversity, equity included. Not, oh man, none of us. It don't include us. Not our kids, not their future, no consideration. But y'all still arguing it because you wanna still get the money. And like he said, you might not make it off the hill. And I've been thinking that. With a certainty, you might not make it. They got, look, you think Vasquez, you think Cicho, you think any of them going up there with you, I guarantee you can offer them a free ticket. They're going to duck that one quick. And when Pam Bundy get down here for your corporate law office, the ones that, look, purposely denied me my constitutional right, I can't wait to see them wrestle with somebody that, look. So, hey, I'm here. Y'all kick me out, but watch. You might not make it off the hill, Mr. Johnson. You might not make it off the hill. So y'all can subject me to whatever, but hey.
Our next speaker this morning is Osiris King.
Hello, Mr. Mayor Brandon Johnson. As we close out Black History Month, let's talk about some real Black history. A. Philip Randolph was a Black labor activist who opposed immigration. Booker T. Washington and Frederick Douglass were prominent Black people in America who opposed immigration because they saw what immigration does to the Black community. So this charade that you're doing with Donald Trump and Tom Homan, we see through it. It is a farce. Black people have always been against immigration, legal and illegal, because a lot of poor Black people are at the low-wage labor market, and we don't need foreigners taking our jobs and competing with us. So being fighting against illegal immigration is the most Black thing you can do. It is the pro-Blackest thing you can do is fighting illegal immigration. Don't let them tell you otherwise. Mayor Brandon Johnson, I am so happy that you are testifying before Congress because the people of Chicago, especially on the south and west side, do not support sanctuary cities. I know the election is over and people are trying to distract you with lunatics protesting against deportations and Democrats doing what Democrats do. But do not forget that we in Chicago do not support sanctuary cities, especially the people who live on the south and west side who had our schools turned into migrant shelters. And for all the people who are mad about Trump getting rid of DEI and critical race theory, those things were racist. You cannot fight past discrimination with future discrimination. If Martin Luther King saw what the Democratic Party has become, he would roll over in his grave. We want to know where that money went. $400 million to illegal aliens. People talk about, oh, reparations this and reparations that, and you have Democrats talking about all this stuff. They need to talk about where that money went, because that's where their money went. It's complete insanity. And might I say this, a lot of people say Donald Trump is anti-black. Donald Trump has acknowledged that birthright citizenship was meant for black people, for newly freed black slaves. That's black history. Democrats want to give it to immigrants. Donald Trump has said that illegals compete with black people for jobs. Democrats look the other way. Donald Trump has said that criminal illegal aliens should be deported out of poor black communities, while Democrats like Mayor Brandon Johnson and others fight tooth and nail to keep them here. They are not for black people. They are not. So y'all can call me a sellout for being black and a Trump supporter. That's fine. But y'all token DEI Democrats are a threat to democracy. Y'all are the crazy ones. So please tell me, to all the people who call me a sellout for voting for Trump, which one of us is really selling out, brother?
Our next speaker this morning is Daniel Beland.
Good morning, City Council and Mayor. I know many people are here today to express their frustration with how the city is being run and how our tax dollars are being spent. But I'm here to say thank you. As the Executive Director of the Committee for Chicago Mayor Recall, I want to thank you for demonstrating exactly why a mayoral recall mechanism should be law in Chicago. From day one, your values have not reflected those of everyday Chicagoans. Instead, they align with CTU puppet masters and radical activists who sow distrust and division. A mayor should unite the city and prioritize public safety. You have done the opposite. Your administration includes an anti-Semitic, anti-law enforcement external affairs officer, a chief of staff who believes in peace circles will solve sexual harassment, and a senior advisor who allegedly committed election fraud in Texas and lacks a legitimate Chicago residence. Your leadership is failing, and the results speak from themselves. You say you don't do raggedy, but your leadership has been exactly that. Chicagoans, regardless of race, income, or religion, want to feel safe in their homes, on their streets, and in their schools. Yet under your watch, armed juvenile thugs continue to carjack, loot, and rob. You canceled ShotSpotter without a backup plan, endangering 2/3 of the city's population. Since that time, 34 people have died. That blood's on your hands and on the Vasquez 19 Progressive Caucus who supported you on that. You also failed to disclose your conflict of interest in CPS contract talks, benefiting from a deal while replacing the school board with unvetted CTU loyalists, firing CEO Martinez days before Christmas for refusing a reckless payday loan proves your priorities lie in union politics, not student success. The only ones benefiting from a better, safer, stronger Chicago are criminals and special interests. A recent poll shows you're at a dismal 6.6 approval rating, with support collapsing across all racial and ethnic groups. Given this overwhelming rejection and the loss of the confidence of the Chicago people, I'm demanding your immediate resignation. Your administration is incompetent, Chicago deserves better, and Little Dirk deserves his money back. He needs it for commissary. Thank you.